Hi guys, so we're going to be talking to John tonight. We're going to be doing a lot of digging into nutrition for the both of us, like how we eat, what we eat, and discussing that in loose terms, how it relates to Crohn's and colitis. And we're also going to be talking a little bit about how different foods affect us and what we've done to maybe make it affect us less, and how we've maybe been able to absorb those into our diets where we get the best out of the food that we eat. If you've got any comments, guys, just make sure you leave them down below. We can have a bit of a discussion about this. It's a massive topic. So any foods that you think you can't eat, or you do eat, or you've worked out a way of eating it, why not share it down below and we can make this into a bit of a conversation, because the more we talk about it and the more we share our ideas, the better it's going to be for everybody. Good evening, guys. Welcome to tonight's episode of Crohnscast. Fellow warrior John Felton's with me, and we're going to be talking about nutrition. John, do you want to say hello to the guys?
Hello, guys. Another Sunday evening, another topic to discuss. What we might do is touch on a few areas that we've done before. Possibly, I don't know. See which way this goes. But hopefully we can kind of relay our experiences. I think that would be the kind of crux of it. Really, is getting our point across of what's affected us, and hopefully then that may give you a bit of food for thought. No pun intended.
What's kind of brought this topic on is that we've been talking about it ourselves, really, just around the kitchen table at lunchtimes.
Yeah,
I'll be eating something and you can't eat that, and I'm sort of none the wiser whenever I eat it. So yeah. So first of all, what do you think is the main thing for us when we're thinking about food?
Just from general day to day, not so much from a performance point of view. So I guess the biggest, I mean, I don't know if I should say, like, the biggest message really, or the biggest thing we should think about is what really works for you. Now, when I had the J pouch, I found that there was a lot of foods that I had to spend a lot of time getting used to again, in comparison to when I had the stoma. And obviously that's reflected now that I've gone back to having a permanent ileostomy. I can definitely see the difference with the foods that I eat. So I found one of the best things really that worked for me for bulking out when I had a J pouch was roughage. So getting good sources of vegetables in your body, especially carrots. Obviously softer carrots, not obviously eating them raw, because that won't work. But getting stuff in like that would make a big difference to my pouch. It would cause bulking, so that I could actually pass that better on the toilet. Whereas conversely, the complete opposite, if I was to have chocolate, which we all love chocolate, of course we do. If I had chocolate, horrendous.
How many times you bring up chocolate, it makes me want to go and get a bar.
Go and get a bar. Go and get a bar. But yeah, I found that chocolate and not that I drink, but if I had a little bit, if I was to try alcohol, especially anything gaseous, would be an absolute nightmare. So I just kind of avoided them things really, which was tough, which was really tough. Not so much the alcohol, weren't that bothered, but it was the chocolate was a big one for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a lot of trial and error. I think that's the main thing, trial and error.
I mean, is that in terms of just keeping your energy levels up and just making sure you get enough vitamin minerals in?
I guess so. Yeah. I mean, I just kind of found what worked best for me. Like I said, from just general day-to-day stuff, I would just, when it comes to performance, I mean, not an athlete myself, but just for pure training and getting your energy up. Obviously, getting a lot of protein into my body and carbohydrates. Now that would mostly be from solid foods, rather than protein shakes, because that's something my stomach couldn't tolerate. However, what I did find was putting the protein into something like a porridge. I think we discussed this before, putting protein into a porridge. So you've got your carbs and protein in there together. That would be okay on my stomach. So that would give me the kind of recovery or even the energy prior to training. Coffee is a good kind of stimulant for training, if of course you don't consume copious amounts of coffee and literally become what's the word I'm looking for? Basically, it doesn't work for you. If you drink copious amounts of coffee, then you're not going to get the same kind of stimulant as you would do if you didn't drink as much coffee. So, but the only thing with coffee is that I could only drink a small amount because again that would kind of go straight through me otherwise. So I drink just about enough to give me enough energy to train. But
are you able to drink coffee now with your
yeah, absolutely, yeah, much better now with the ileostomy. I think I've seen a big change from having the J pouch to managing what I can eat. Obviously having the ileostomy now is a lot different from the J pouch. Hugely, I don't really understand why. It's not like I have the same amount of output coming out the ileostomy as what I would have done out my backside. Mm-hmm. I think whatever's going on down there, it just seems to handle things a lot better. I don't know why. I couldn't even explain that why. I don't know. I don't know.
It's probably just a release of the pressure that you have to go to the bathroom. So I think whenever you've not got an ileostomy, it'll just come out of its own accord. So although output might be slightly higher, it's not something you have to consciously be aware of.
Yeah. So the urgency, I suppose, you haven't got that urgency then to kind of rush off the toilet. So you don't really get that feeling. Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah. And I think, like, for me, certainly over the last couple of weeks, I've been up and down, as you know, a few days off work and whatnot. And it's been about just trying to get back on top of eating and making sure I'm getting enough in, because sometimes I've been knackered, and it's just, you know, with Kylie being sort of pregnant and in the throes of morning sickness, she's not really had much of an appetite. So I think that's kind of had an effect on things, because I've not really been that interested in eating because she's not interested in eating. So then it becomes an effort to cook.
Yeah, cook for one.
I think that times like that, because it'll come around. There'll be times where I'll just be going through the motions and everything will be great. And then it's amazing how quick. So that was less than a month of her having morning sickness for me to then have an absolute downturn and be just absolutely ruled off.
Yeah,
I think I could say.
I mean, would you then say that's like your food selection has been different, and therefore the consequences you've been fatigued, or was it just the fact that you're not eating as much or not really thinking about it, and it just seems very coincidental that, you know, it's the not eating as well, and then your stomach being in turmoil.
Definitely, the food choices were less nutritious, should we say? Yeah. There'll be evenings where I come back and we just have cereal in the evening, sort of thing, or be a frozen pizza, or but pretty much comfort food, and
quick and easy.
Yeah, and it was just like I was coming back, and then getting into that sort of vicious circle or cycle of I'm now tired because I'm not getting enough from my diet, and I can't be bothered because I'm tired to therefore prepare a good meal.
I guess what that shows is that you're getting the calorific content, you're getting the calories in, no doubt. So for example, a pizza. But then for me, if I was to eat when I had the J pouch, if I had pizza, especially the white bread, it would cause so much gas. My pouch would just be, it would have a massive a bad effect on the pouch. So I would end up on the toilet so much, and maybe that's whether that be the yeast or whatever it is in the dough and the tomato and stuff like that. I would definitely see a difference if I was to eat a pizza. So like I said, you're probably getting the calories for the energy, but then what's happening is obviously the adverse effects of the content of the food is just causing you to have more output. So it's just basically you got more out than what you got going in. So therefore you're going to be in a deficit with your calories.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people in our community will go through things like that.
Yeah.
And I'm meant to know better.
Yeah, but this is the real world. This is the real world.
Yeah, and it's just, I think for people watching this to understand, I've got a background in nutrition, background in training, a background in elite sport, and I can fall foul in my diet, and perhaps the wrong word. I don't even know what I would call it. Just a general fatigue.
Yeah.
Where I'm basically not well, feeling like I'm on the borderline of like a viral infection almost.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not, but I'm all right now. After a few days rest and sort of getting back on point.
But what you also did was take a step back from training as well, and I think that was important to realise that, right, okay, if your nutrition isn't on point, and I mean what I mean by on point is not always going to be 100% clean eating and so forth. It's just you're not getting what you want out of your food. You realise that you've become very fatigued, and training on top of that, we know, is just completely has the adverse effect. You don't get any gains out of training when you're feeling down, when you're feeling fatigued. So sometimes it just takes the start realization that you have to step away from training, get your food back on point, get yourself back to where you want to be feeling wise, and then get back into your training. So it's just taking that kind of educated process, maybe is that the word I'm looking for? To understand what we discussed this before, is knowing your body, understanding the state that you're in, and then realizing that sometimes you have to take a little bit of a step back, look at yourself and think, right, where do I go from here?
There's a website for people like us in the UK called Crohn's and Colitis UK. And equally, there are websites in America. One that I know of is Crohn's Colitis Foundation. I believe that they will all talk to each other and generally have a consensus on the stuff that they pump out in terms of advice. And it's really good. There's loads of PDF files on there or leaflets that give you lots of different bits and pieces and actually quite in-depth information, and links it on to other research and other places that you can go and find for information. So yeah, seek that out, have a look, keep a diary. But most of all, I want people to stop feeling like they're stuck. I don't want people to feel like they're stuck and feel like there's no way out. There's always a way out, and there's always something that we can do. And just try and enjoy it. Try and enjoy the small things. That's what I'm trying to do as best I can. We've both got kids, and there's some days that they drive us up the wall. It's realizing that child's fit and healthy, and actually, given what we've been through, we're still here to enjoy them. So that's
absolutely, yeah. That's a good point.
Well, I think that takes us off from this episode.
Absolutely. Specific, but just
let's go for it.
What were we going to say? So